Hi friends, welcome back to the Common Sense Grandma. My name is Michelle, and today we are going to be making 2 pans of enchiladas. One will be green enchiladas and be vegetarian, and the other pan will be half beef enchiladas and half vegetarian enchiladas. We are also going to be using green sauce for the vegetarian enchiladas, and then half and half on the other pan of enchiladas. And hopefully we make at least the 2 pans, maybe more. This Sunday is my husband's 70th birthday party. All of our kids will be here and some other family. And my daughter-in-law, one of them, is vegetarian. And we're actually doing all Filipino food, except for the enchiladas. But I thought, you know, I've been wanting to make these. And I have a lot of zucchini and yellow squash on hand, and also spinach. I put that in there too. And so I thought, you know, this would be a perfect time to go ahead and make these. And tonight we will also have the enchiladas along with these are black beans that I canned. We'll have some black beans, and then I've got a jar, my last jar of salsa. I canned this August 2023. I need to use that up, so I'll put that in some Mexican rice. But to get started, I already went ahead and cooked our filling. You don't need to see me make the filling. I will have the recipe in the notes below. But in here, I have 1 zucchini, 1 yellow squash, both chopped kind of pretty small. Red onion, I put in garlic. I actually put in a teaspoon of taco seasoning just for the heck of it, because I thought that would be good. Half of a package of this Queso Fresco cheese here, and about over a cup of just shredded Jack and cheddar cheese put in here. Salt and pepper. I used the blend, this one. I put that in there. Let me look at my list here. I already typed this out, but oh, I also put in about 1/4 of a cup of chopped cilantro. And then on the top, we will put some black olives and of course the green enchilada sauce. So we will go ahead and get started on making our enchilada sauce. Oh, there we go. This thing still scares me. I do have a door open here in the house, so I'm not concerned about using this in the house. Okay, we do have a door open. I wish I could cook on this stove with you guys, but it's kind of hard. It's kind of cramped over there. And I thought this might be a little bit easier to do it this way today. Now, when you're doing enchilada sauce, yes, we're using a can of green enchilada sauce. Here we go. Okay, I chose mild. I like to make a roux and put in some broth and then add the enchilada sauce. I remember watching Pioneer Woman many years ago do that, and it triggered a memory of that's how my mom made enchilada sauce. She did use the can, but she always made the roux with the broth and then added the can, and it just thickens it a little bit. Here is some red sauce that I did earlier, and as you can see, it's a little bit thick and it tastes really good. I like it that way. So I'm actually doubling the recipe. Normally you would use 2 tablespoons of oil. This is avocado oil, or you can use olive oil, you can use butter, whatever you want. And then 2 tablespoons of flour. I am doubling this since I'm making so much. And so let me get my recipe here so I don't miss anything. Also, I am going to be using vegetable broth since one of our daughter-in-laws is vegetarian. I want her to be able to enjoy this. Now, again, I'm doubling this, so I'm using 4 tablespoons, which is 1/4 of a cup. And this burner is getting hot. Will not take long for that. Let me turn this down. And then 4 tablespoons of flour. So you just make your roux like you're making gravy or cheese sauce. I keep a jar, this jar of flour, I keep it up in my seasonings. So when I need to make gravy or something like this, I can just grab it very quickly instead of getting my gigantic thing of flour out of the cupboard, out of the pantry. How is that? Let me get. Oh, this is cooking fast. I don't think I opened the broth yet. Ooh, burning it. Ouch. Hot. This stove is very hot. I need to turn it down some more. There we go. Maybe I left the pan on here too long. So we're gonna let it thicken up a little bit. And then add in our enchilada sauce. Let me check the burner. Oh, it's still going. Okay. There we go. And then for my filling for the beef enchiladas, which is this one here, I cooked a pound of ground beef and I seasoned it also with the blend. I love this stuff. I hope you guys are using it. The best price is at Costco and Sam's Club. All the grocery stores do carry it, but I buy it from Costco or Sam's, depending whichever store I'm at. Well, now the pan really calmed down. It's taken a while. Let me turn it back up a little bit. There we go. So I am doing the pan of green enchiladas in this disposable pan because on Sunday, when I'm gonna be doing all the cooking for the party, I'm just using disposable pans because I don't feel like washing dishes. And yes, there will be people here that could help, but I want everybody to enjoy themselves. I only use these pans every once in a while. Now for the enchiladas, I always use corn tortillas. It's just my favorite way of doing it. I think most restaurants, that's what it, ow. This pan is hot. That's what most restaurants use. Now, this recipe I'm using, it's not a recipe I found online. It's just one that I kind of made up, let's say. And I'm basing it on El Torito's spinach enchiladas. That's pretty much what I'm basing it on. There was another restaurant that's in the sister chain of El Torito. I think it's called Acapulco. And they had the best vegetarian enchiladas. They actually roasted the vegetables and it was really, really good. This is getting thick. That's kind of what I'm basing this on. You can use whichever sauce you want and feel free to just use the sauce straight from the can. And I want to show you something out of the refrigerator. You know, if you're in a hurry, you can use, if you just want to make an enchilada just for yourself, you can always just use green sauce. You don't have to go through all this trouble. Now we're in business. Now it's boiling. But this is kind of the more, I think, authentic way of doing it. And I just like the texture of the sauce. It's thicker. And it's not so, I don't know if you want to say strong, but I prefer it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and add in, I think this is 30 ounces. And then I'm adding in this small little one I got at Walmart. They sell these for about $1 for the small one. And I thought, that's very handy because you can use it in other things. So we're going to let this go ahead and thicken, and then we will get rolling the enchiladas up. I just need this to thicken up a little bit. This took about 5 minutes for it to come to a boil and thicken up. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Boy, this thing is hot. Put that there and move this. This whole thing is hot. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it, I have another stack of tortillas there I took out of the freezer just in case. I wasn't sure if I would need it. I have a tendency to buy tortillas, think I'm going to use them, and then I don't. And I need to get out of that habit. I need to do better at my shopping. Let's see if you can see this. It's a little bit thicker now than it would have been if it was just from the can. I also need to go through my mom's recipes. I was able to get my mom's recipes when she passed away. I have a box, small box, but she used to make a green enchilada sauce in the blender. And I remember she put like a chunk of onion, garlic, a lot of spinach, a can of green chilies, and I don't remember what else. And I remember probably 20 years ago, I tried making it and it was close. I'm hoping that recipe is in there. And if so, I will make that for you sometime. Let's see. When you're making enchiladas, it's like making lasagna. You always put a little bit down in the bottom of the pan. And you know, if you don't feel like rolling the tortillas, rolling the filling, you can make it like lasagna. That works perfectly fine. I feel like this little ladle is going to fall in the pan. So let's see how I want to do this, which route I'm going to take. I put my tortillas in the tortilla warmer. I didn't warm them up by hand, you know, one by one. Ooh, they're hot. Everything is hot. I just, I put paper towel on the bottom, put the tortillas, and then a couple wet paper towels on top. And let it do its thing. Get warm. That took about 3 minutes. To get ready here for filling. And I hope I don't regret not putting my hair up today. My hair gets everywhere. So when you're making enchiladas, put it on a plate, whatever, however you want to do it, with some of the sauce, and you dip it on each side. And then you just put a little bit of your filling, roll it up, place it in your pan, seam side down. So this does take a little bit, and I'll bring you back when I have the pan full. Okay, this pan is full. I have 11. I really can't squeeze any more on here. I'll see how it goes when I get to the end of this one. I am using quite a bit of the filling, which is good. But I think this would be a good freezer meal. I worry a little bit about the tortillas falling apart. These tortillas are not as thick as I would like, but that's okay. And I wanted to mention, you can always, you know, use filling, make a filling out of things you have in your refrigerator. I think mushrooms would be very good. You could be crazy and do some asparagus, roast some asparagus. I think you do need to pre-cook your vegetables. This sauce is still really hot. And my tortillas are hot. They're starting to fall apart a little bit. I may end up just stacking this, we'll see. how it goes. But I'm gonna go through all the filling I can here. This is our pan for tonight for dinner. I had planned on doing this the other day, I think on Tuesday or Monday actually, but grandson ended up not going to be here for dinner, and I wanted him to be able to have this. He loves spicy food. Even though this is not spicy, he'll probably add, I don't know, Tabasco or whatever he can find. Whatever he can find in the refrigerator to make it spicy. But I am looking forward to this. If you ask anybody of our family what is my favorite cuisine, this is it. Maybe that's because we're in Southern California and we are so blessed to have many neighbors that cook this delicious food for us. And that's why we have to learn to also make it ourselves. Kind of running out of filling here. I can tell my filling for the beef ones are going to be, there's a lot left. And you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to freeze it. You can freeze, you know, ground beef after you cook it. And then you've got it ready to go. And I think that's what I'm going to do with some of this, because I can tell there's going to be extra. So I will probably end up just freezing that extra. But again, like I said, use what you have. I'm just going to kind of stick that on there. I'll be back. I'm going to wash my hands and start with the rest of the other side of enchiladas. I'm just going to do green enchiladas this whole pan because I am looking at how much sauce I have. There's a lot here still. So the beef ones are going to also be green, I think. Even though I do have some other sauce, I'll put some of the other sauce on. You can mix it. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. I think I'll make one of these for myself also for lunch. Maybe I'm being too chintzy on the filling. I don't know. So the rest of this pan I will fill up with the beef. If I have enough tortillas, I'll just go ahead and do another pan and put it in the freezer. We'll see. I don't know. Depends on our tortillas, how far they go. And I'll bring you back. Now that our pans are full, I am going to put some of the green sauce on. This is the one for Sunday. That's in 2 days. I'm hoping it doesn't get too mushy. It'll still taste good, even if it gets a little bit mushy. And I have enough sauce here where I can save some to put on top. I will also add a little bit of cheese on top of that before I bake it. Now this is dinner for tonight. I'm gonna add sauce. I also have some red sauce. So I'll probably just mix it. And I'm also going to put olives on top of them. And when we go to eat it, it's really good with a little dollop of sour cream. I'll probably cut up some cilantro and it'll be delicious. And then of course, like I said, tonight we will do beans and rice with it. These look so good. Let me move that out of the way. And then I have this red sauce. May as well just use it. My plan was to have one side, one sauce, and the other one, but that's okay. This will work just fine. Then we'll add some olives. You know, you can put olives in the filling. I don't think I've done that, but you certainly could. Doesn't that look delicious? It's not hard. It's just a little time consuming and maybe a little messy, but that's, you know, that's part of cooking. There we go. So here's our pan of enchiladas for tonight. This one I lightly sauced. I will add more on Sunday. So I hope all of you are having a great week. Thank you for spending some time with me today. And we will see you again in the next video. And if you don't mind, please share this video and like and subscribe. And I would just really appreciate that. Blessings to each of you. Bye-bye.